Welcome. We travel with you today to the most amazing place on the earth. The Siwa Oasis is an urban oasis in Egypt, between the Qattara Depression and the Great Sand Sea in the Western Desert, 50 kilometers, 30 miles, east of the Libyan border, and 560 kilometers, 348 miles, from the capital, Cairo. Its fame primarily from its ancient role as the home of an oracle of Ammon, the ruins of which are a popular tourist attraction which gave the oasis its ancient name, Oasis of Amun Ra, a major Egyptian deity. The Siwa Oasis is in a deep depression that reaches below sea level, to about -19 meters, -62 feet. To the west the Jaghbub Oasis rests in a similar depression, and to the east, the large Qattara Depression is also below sea level. 200 springs of water decorate Siwa Oasis, a great turnout from visitors to the oasis to enjoy and treat by water springs. The most famous springs, Ain Cleopatra, Fatness, and Abu Shruf, Ain Birizi, the most famous for eye and skin diseases treating. Siwa water springs are two types of water, which are the most important in the region. It contains fresh water suitable for drinking and irrigation, and saltwater lakes, in addition to sulfur water. But the most important type of water in Siwa is the fresh water, which is carried out through irrigation of land, agriculture in Siwa, and drinking. The second important type of water in Siwa is sulfur water, which brings tourism and income to about half of Siwa's population. Half of Siwa's residents work in agriculture and the other half work in tourism. Siwa Oasis have several salt lakes, including Lake Tagagan, Lake Al-Awsat, and Lake Shayata. In addition to Fatna's Lake, which is one of the most attractive places for tourism, located 5 kilometers west of Siwa. It is located on the island of Fatnas, surrounded by the lake from 3 directions. In front of Jabal Jafar. Dakhar Mountain in Siwa Oasis, an important pharaonic monument and a natural treatment for diseases. It is of great importance for the treatment of diseases, because it has hot sand that is able to treat diseases. The medical tourism starts from mid-June, July, August, and September. Jebel Dakhar is considered a natural resort to recover from such diseases as rheumatology treatment, skin disease treatment, joint pain treatment, spinal pain treatment, gout treatment, treatment of fat accumulated inside and outside the body. The therapist makes a horizontal hole according to the length of the patient. This process takes place in the early morning, around 7 am. Cleopatra Bath is also called Eye of the Sun. Its name dates back to the 5th century BC, when the historian, Herodotus, described it by this name. It is one of the natural springs of the Siwa Oasis. Cleopatra Spring is a natural water spring, fed naturally by the underground water, and is considered the best-known water spring in the area. There is a belief that Queen Cleopatra took a shower in these waters. Local girls of Siwa used to bathe in this place before the wedding, believing they will become as pretty and charming as Queen Cleopatra. At the foot of a mountain in Siwa, there is a place called Al-Tibta. It is a fusion between a tourist center and a medical center due to the presence of a lake that is over 95% salt. The lake is 4 meters in depth, but you cannot drown in it due to the heavy capacity of this water, as there is a large amount of natural salt mixed in it. At Al-Tibta Mountain you can enjoy the natural beauty and swimming in crystal clear water safely, as well as get a natural medical treatment for the eyes, skin and sinuses. Siwis traditionally utilize this salt in building homes and shaping their tools, and also lamps, believed to produce healing energy with the heat of the light source. Amun Temple Siwa has a fascinating history dating back to the time of Alexander the Great. Located in Siwa, Egypt's most isolated oasis, the temple is also routinely called the Temple of the Oracle or the Temple of Amun. During his stay in Egypt, Alexander made a trek to the Siwa Oasis in order to reach Amun Temple, Siwa. During his trek, he became beloved by the Egyptian people. When you visit Amun Temple, Siwa Oasis surrounds it in a way which simply cannot be described. It is also the only temple dedicated to Alexander the Great that can be found in Egypt. The temple was only rediscovered in 1938 when people were searching for the Valley of the Golden Mummies, which lies close by. The temple and the valley are only about 3 miles from the town of El-Khazar in the Siwa Oasis. Most Siwan dishes are easy to prepare and made with fresh ingredients found in the gardens or the market. Lunch is the main meal of the day, and typically includes salad, rice or macaroni, olives, and a vegetable dish. Siwa is famous for the best handicrafts at the level of the oases of the Western Desert, where you can buy the finest types of handicrafts such as embroidered rugs and distinctive pottery tagine flowers. Following the track that leads to the Temple of the Oracle and continuing past the Temple of Al-Mubaid will lead you to Siwa's most famous spring, Cleopatra's Spring. We back again. The crystal clear water gurgles up into a large stone pool, which is a popular bathing spot for locals and tourists alike. A couple of lovely cafes have comfortable shaded lounging areas and serve soft drinks and delicious snacks. Cleopatra's Bath is a natural spring that bubbles up from the ground. There are actually numerous springs to be found throughout the oasis, but this would be the most well-known of them all. The water that comes from this spring is so clear that it would be invisible if it were not in constant motion. It fills a natural stone pool that can be used for bathing, swimming, and relaxing. Keep in mind that women from other parts of the world may look at clothing quite differently from the people of Egypt. If you choose to step into the waters and you are a woman, it would be best to stay fully clothed. If you do choose to change into other clothing before stepping into Cleopatra's Bath, you will find that changing rooms are open to the public at Tantawa Cafe, which is adjacent to the bath itself. Cleopatra's Well is one of the ancient pharaonic wells with cold fresh water and the most famous tourist destination throughout the ages in Siwa Oasis. The most important thing that distinguishes Cleopatra's Eye is that people feel that the temperature of its water in winter is warm, to the point that its water evaporates in the morning as if it is boiling, and in summer it feels cold. The well of Cleopatra is historical. It is said that Queen Cleopatra swam in it herself during her visit to Siwa Oasis, and a number of historians mentioned that it is the well that Alexander the Great visited on his trip to the Temple of Amun in Siwa. Ain Cleopatra is located 10 minutes from the center of Siwa Oasis, near the Temple of Predictions, which is also called the Temple of the Inspiration of Amun, one of the most important archaeological sites in Siwa Oasis. Cleopatra's Well is also known as Eye of the Sun, and its name dates back to the 5th century BC, where the historian Herodotus described it by this name. Al-Ain is the main water source for more than 840 square kilometers of agricultural land in Siwa, surrounded by trees and palms from all directions. Sulfur water treats many skin diseases, the most important of which are chronic osteoarthritis, rheumatic osteoarthritis, fibromyalgia, and skin diseases such as scabies, tinea, psoriasis, chronic eczema, acne, gout, rheumatoid, and neuritis. One of the most important sulfur water wells in Siwa Oasis is Ain Cleopatra, which is considered a public shrine inside the oasis, and no fees are imposed on it to be free for everyone. as Siwa is characterized by complete safety that is not tainted by any obstacles that disturb the presence of visitors. It is one of the most important and famous places that characterize the mountains of Shali, the Dead and Cleopatras well, and it is a sparkling bubble water whose secret is not known so far. Siwa Oasis. From medical tourism to heritage places. Begin your journey by healing in the lakes and sulfur springs to burial in salt and sand. And conclude it with a visit to the most important heritage attractions. And don't forget to bring some souvenirs for you and your friends. The cave is a building which consists of intertwining rooms. Its walls and ceiling are completely covered in salt that was brought from the Siwa Oasis, which is famous for having the finest types of salt in the world. All you need to do is go in and lie on a chaise longue under the calming lights, listen to soft music, bury your feet in salt and enjoy being surrounded by the purity of the color white and the freshness of clean air. The cave has a light and sound system that was set specifically by psychologists to fit the type of treatment that is being received, and it differs from a type to another as each of the colors of lighting the ceiling has something to do with a specific body organ. For example, green light is comforting for the eyes and calms the nerves. Blue light calms the brain and keeps you focused. And according to the type of treatment you are receiving, convenient music and lights are set, and by the way you leave your mobile, negative thoughts and problems at the door before you get in the cave and start a journey of relaxation and quietness. Patients take off their clothes at about 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. before a worker helps bury them in sand, where they stay for 10 to 15 minutes. Next they go into tents that have been uncovered and exposed to the heat of the sun, so they act like saunas, where they drink a warm herbal tea-like drink with seeds. Patients can stay in the tents as long as they like. After a day's treatment, patients are taken to a house to cool down and change into fresh clothes before dinner. They are not allowed to shower 3 days after treatment or allow cold air onto their skin. Patients with high blood pressure or heart disease are not allowed to undergo the treatment. Between 3 and 9 days of sand baths are recommended to feel any benefit. The treatment costs about 300 to 400 Egyptian pounds, $38 to $51. Per day, which includes accommodation and food. Most of the patients find the first bath difficult, but they then get used to it. Heard of all the therapeutic characteristics of Siwa's hot sand baths that can do miracles to those suffering from skin irritation, fertility problems, joints, bones, or muscles pain. If you are a female or male, you will be escorted by a female or male where you will be asked to completely take off your clothes, put on some clean towels, then head to the sand hole made for you to be buried from neck to toe. Pack heavy clothes to wear during the entire time it's summer, and freaking hot, yet you must wear heavy clothes at all time of your treatment. Eat light food which you will be provided with. Do not shower for the whole duration of the treatment. We wish you an enjoyable and beneficial trip, health and psychological. I have an American friend who comes to Siwa Oasis on a continuous basis annually during the summer months to enjoy health.